Hi there, I'm Rachel Gable. I'm the assistant editor of the Fence Post magazine, and this is your Fair Cattle Markets update for the 19th of August. The comment period closed today regarding NCBA's petition to change the product of the USA labeling to processed in the USA. So, of course, it just closed today, so no telling really when we'll hear something back on that, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I have been deep into a history of the Packers and Stalkers Act, and I just stopped when I was reading a published law article by Lena Khan, who is now the chair of the Federal Trade Commission, and she wrote about Amazon as kind of the key antitrust example of all time. It was really interesting. And there's an article in the New Yorker that came out, I believe, yesterday that talks about whether or not it's time to break up big ag. And I thought they'd start with the meat packers, but they actually started with DFA, or the Dairy Farmers of America. That's also a pretty interesting read, and I'm still sorting through it, and I've got some calls tomorrow, so I hope that you will take a look at the magazine this week, because the Packers and Stalkers history and the antitrust history I think is really interesting, so I hope that you also find it interesting. We received a letter, handwritten, today from someone in near San Francisco, and it was someone who was passing through. They stopped at Murdoch's and bought a copy of the Fence Post, and it was the copy that had Rudy the ranch dog, the Australian Shepherd, on the, it was a picture of him kind of looking around the side on a flatbed. He belongs to Dr. Laura Bledsoe down in Hugo, and he had gone missing and made his way back to the ranch. But that's the one that they read, and I want to share some of this with you because it was an interesting perspective that we don't hear very often, because, as you know, we tend to preach to the choir a bit. It says, I'm a college-educated West Coast liberal living on 40 acres growing redwoods. I'm also a journalist and author of local history books. We've been on our place 46 of the 98 years the family has owned it. Reading the magazine, I realize we on the West Coast have no concept of when it comes to the challenges of where our food comes from. Your advertisements reflect areas of understanding unknown to us, like seed for irrigated and dryland pasture mixes, or meat institutes, or price discovery, or AI synchronization. I didn't know biological systems engineering existed, though it would not surprise me if Cal Poly or UC Davis, California's two ag schools, teach it. Reading market estimated daily livestock statistics is enlightening. We may live in the West, but we're meat-eating carnivores. Drought monitor maps are all too familiar in our neck of the woods. We've enjoyed the display advertisements. If we lived on the high plains, they said they would not do business with this particular business, where it says, if you don't like Trump, you probably won't like us. But she says, at least they're honest. I never knew tractors could come in so many varieties, though I visited the Case IH factory in Wisconsin. Is prairie dog control done with chemicals? California needs to know about Pawnee Butte's fire revegetation mixes. We're going to need about 500,000 acres worth. Thank you for the story about the bootleg fire. California is very familiar with the after effects of smoke. Smoky wines are not tasty. I've lived in these two California counties for 50 years, and both have one single auction yard, if memory serves. It's fascinating to see it's done online now. Take it to Sissy. And pond and lagoon builders. That was a new one for me. Slaughterhouses are gone here, 2-hour drive to Sonoma County to get meat processing done. The search for ranch hands was interesting. Salary and home and half a beef in compensation, and work with 2-year-olds. I assume that's livestock and not children. I thought that was really cute. Being owners of a 1934 Model M, non-running, Alice Chalmers tractor, we enjoyed the vintage tractor ads. Know anyone who wants to buy an old tractor in our barn? So thank you for showing us a bit of life on the Great Plains. It was educational to us. When you live where the ag crops are trees, wine, grapes, and pears, it's fun to see what's happening elsewhere. Keep up the good work. From California. I thought that was really interesting, and it was certainly a look at things that is just very different. Ag synchronization, I guess, is part of my world, and it doesn't really occur to me that it's not until my iPhone auto corrects something that I try to send to my husband, and it doesn't make sense. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed that look from somebody in California, and I thought it was interesting. I'm going to keep working on the PSA article, and I hope that if you are at the RCAF convention that you're having a great time. If you see Ronnie Sylvester, give her a hug for me. I'm Rachel Gable. Have a good one.